guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm back again. I apologise I apologise that my videos have been a bit sporadic, but I've got so much on at the moment that I'm struggling to get into the workshop. But here we are again. Today I've been asked to go through the Benchdogs parallel guides, the setup and use of them, so that's what I'm going to do. Just before we start though, if you watch my last video, you may notice that my table saw has gone. The last time we were together, I gave you some tips and hints on not just setting it up, but making sure that it worked correctly. And to do that, there were quite a few mods. And by the time I'd finished doing all them mods, I lost my temper with it and it's gone back. So watch this space and I will let you know in the next couple of weeks what I'm getting, and I'll do an unboxing maybe on it or something like that. Anyway, on with the show. Benchdogs parallel guides. If you hadn't noticed, I'm a Festool user, so this one is going to be concentrating on the parallel guides for the Festool rail. They also fit the Makita rail and a few other things, but they do them for pretty much every rail you can get. So if you just bear with me, I'll get the camera set up and we'll go through what I'm going to do with them. Okay guys, so this is the set that I have. Again, as you can probably see behind me, I'm a Sustainer fan, so I went for the parallel guide set which sits in the Sustainer. With it, the actual parallel guides themselves, the measuring sticks if you will, you get three. You get the ones that come with it, and then you get two additional extensions. The cut down short so that you can get them inside your Sustainer. If you buy the normal set, you get two longer ones, so you've only got two joins. I figured I'd only be using them in that sort of sense for what I do. I'll very rarely be using them in the full in their full capacity. So that's what I got. Now these are the Mark II guides. You can order them, you can order them as piece parts if you want extra stock blocks, if you want extra bits with them. You can also order an upgrade set if you're a Mark I parallel guide user. You can order an upgrade set to upgrade them to the Mark II version. I'm going to presume you know what parallel guides are. I apologise, I've not gone down that road. There are plenty of videos online on what they do, but if you're watching how to set them up, I'm going to presume that you know what they are. But basically they are guides for a track so that you can use your track saw to cut straight and parallel lines on stock board material. The beauty of these ones is that they have these narrow cut adapters, and it's the narrow cut adapters that you use to set them up, which means you don't have to turn everything upside down to lock things in position when you're first setting them up, which is actually very handy. It means you can set them up incredibly accurately without having to move everything around. And I'll just show you how to do that. So when you buy these, they all come in bits and bobs. I've set mine up and I've used them to make all the cabinetry around me that you can see. So I've put them back in here just to show you how they come. And they all come, separately, all in pieces and bags of bits and bobs. I've made one up and ready to go, and I've left the other as it came in its piece parts. So I'll show you what we do. This is the stock block, and you can see it's got NC on one side and PG on the other. That's parallel guide and narrow cut, and you can see that the arrows are slightly offset so that when you slide them, let me use that one. When you slide them on, if you slide it on with the PG first, you're looking on this scale on the side, and when you run it all the way up, it comes up to where it says parallel guide. If you put it on the other way around and slide it on, it will come up to, if I can get it on, crikey, I want that to go on there. There we go. The arrow stays on the narrow cut side, and that's all it is. It's just so you know which side you're going on. If we're going to set these up, we're going to use the narrow cut side in order to calibrate them for the first time you use them, and I'm going to show you that now. So just give me a second. Okay, guys, we're back. So as you can see, I've got my rail set up with my NC, which is narrow cut. All this is attached, obviously, to the narrow cut guide. And we're going to set that as accurate as we can with the pointer on 0. Okay, so we'll just nip that up. Try and do it equally on both sides. So that's nipped on 0. Now what we do, we slide our, sorry, I'm moving out of camera shot there. This is our rail adapter here. So we slide that on the rail so that the narrow cut guide slips underneath. It will do automatically, of course. So you can see the narrow cut guide goes underneath. Now I said earlier, the beauty of the Mark II guides is that you don't have to turn it upside down to set them. You do have to turn it upside down to set them, but it's all done with it upside down, so you don't have to move it after you've got it set up. Now you can see I've already set mine, but I will unset it to show you how you do it. So when you get these two little set screws underneath are loose, which means that you can move the whole thing back and forth. If I can get it to move, there we go. So the whole thing moves back and forth. Okay, now what we're going to do, I'm just going to go and get a block of wood, piece of scrap, nice bit of hardwood first ply will do it. So if we put that against our splinter guard there and butt up the narrow cut guide straight against it, the narrow cut guide will then sit right on your splinter guard, and you can tighten from there without moving anything. I should really get a screwdriver to do this. So that's that, and that is that. So now the narrow cut guide, as you can see, is right up to your splinter guard. And if I turn it back over, I'm using my LR32 rail here just because it's what I had to hand and it's a bit long to get everything in shot. But what we're going to do now, because that's set, if I now undo my stop block, and let's move back to say 50mm. So I'll set it at 50mm on my stop block. Okay, and then we'll use that piece of timber there, and we'll push it until, and as you can see underneath, my narrow guide is there. So I'll push it onto my piece of wood there and butt it up. I'm only using one. Of course, you would have two on here, but it's I can't get everything in camera shot. And as I keep saying to you, I'm fairly new to this video stuff, so it's going to have to be what it's going to have to be. So rather than cutting it with my track saw, I'm just going to mark it with a pen there, and then we'll move everything away. And I'll just show you, these are very accurate. We set that at 50mm, and as you can see, it is absolutely 50mm. I don't know if you can see that, but it is crack on 50mm. And as I say, I've used these for building the cabinetry that you see around me, and they've been absolutely fantastic. Okay guys, we're back in shot. Eventually I'll hopefully get better at doing this video stuff, but until then you're stuck with my sketchy videos. The other thing I wanted to mention about these parallel guides, apart from the fact that I love them and they are very accurate, is if you've used parallel guides before, quite a lot of them, when you're doing narrow cuts, you end up having to find bits of scrap to put underneath them so everything's level and your track doesn't, is not sort of lifted on one side. These have these funky little screws here, and you can undo them so that whatever thickness your stock is, and generally it's board stock that we're running through, isn't it? So 12, 9, 12, 18mm, 25 maybe if you're using MDF, or 19 if you're using Valchromat. But this little screw undoes, and it will make up the difference of the thickness of your stock, so the whole thing sits level. It's a really, really good idea. I will reiterate that I'm not affiliated to Benchdogs. I paid for these with my own money, as I did with everything in here. So I've not got to say nice things or horrible things about them. I only say nice things about these because they are brilliant. They're very accurate, they're very easy to set up. There has been talk about whether you could be bothered leaving the narrow cut guides on, because when you're doing the standard cuts, they're in this position. This is the parallel guide side. I generally have two of these on, So mine, if you can imagine, will be sat like that under there, and that's the sort of length I have them fitted at. And I'll be honest with you, when I first saw them, Peter Millard does a very good video about these, and his video skills are much better than mine. And he mentions it, but I'll be honest, I've used these a lot, and you can see I've got quite a lot of cabinets in already around me, and I've used them to make every single one of these, all my cisterna ports, all my drawers, the tops, this bit, and as you can probably see, I've fitted some wings around my, this is the third iteration of my MFT bench. I've put some wings around it because I've got my hinge, and I was sick of things falling off the back, so now I've got it all sorted out, and nothing will roll over. I've used I've used these to build all of that stuff, and I've found them to be 100% accurate. Give them a try. They're absolutely brilliant. If you need anything else, let me know. If you want me to post any videos about what you see around me, let me know, and I'll speak to you soon. Please subscribe, and I'll let you know when I make another video. Thanks very much.